y'all, today I am here in Oakfield, Georgia. We got some pretty cool old buildings back here behind me to check out. But before we do that, I got something I want to show you. Something I've never seen before. A little unusual, but apparently it used to be fairly common back in the 1800s, early 1900s. But let's go check it out. Now, this is a community well or water pump. It's located in the middle of the street here in Oakfield. Now, that's pretty doggone cool to me. This is a pump that the entire town could come and access and get the water, and I'm sure it was greatly appreciated by the citizens here that didn't have to have an individual well or draw water. Another thing that's pretty cool about this, the patent on this thing is April 23rd, 1918. Now, I don't think the pump still works, but the fact that it's still here, it's been preserved, it's pretty awesome. I mean, that's something you really don't see every day. And like I said, in my whole life, I have never seen this, and I've been all over the place. I've been a lot of places, and that's something I have never seen. So we'll go and check out some of these old buildings. There's an old bank building here. There's an old post office, an old store. Let's go check it out. I wonder who Lil Bob is. Now, this building right here, from what I read online, was a store and also the post office. The post office now is located across the street, and that's not a really new building in itself, but it's definitely not as old as this one. Now, this old building is in pretty bad shape. There's an old piano that's turned over here. The roof is collapsing. There's still stuff on the shelves here. I would think this would have been the store section. Now, the store my daddy worked in when I was a child, it also was the local post office. It was the post office in the back. It wasn't that when I can remember, but at one time it had been. So apparently that used to be a pretty common thing. This side over here is falling in. I would assume this would have been the post office side. I don't know that for sure. That's a pretty cool old building though. You can tell that the windows at some point were changed out. That's a much more modern, newer window. And you can see at one time where the new brick was added. It was arched there. Same with the door. You can tell that's been replaced at some point. But that's a pretty cool old building. Let's go check out the old bank. It's also been modified. Now, this is the bank, the Oakfield Bank, that was built somewhere around 1900. The guy bought this building around 2009, 2010. He's got his stuff in there, so we won't get too close. But originally, these were arched openings, and that was like a porch area, and the bank was actually on in the back. This was open on the sides. He's closed it in and put windows in there. Got a lot of stuff stored in there, so we won't get too close to this one. I don't want to be infringe on anybody's property here, but I know I saw a picture online, and all of this was open. These archways were open. The glass wasn't there. It was just an opening. And the door, there was a glass facade there. The front of the building was there. Now, this bank was only used for like 3 years, and I don't know what it was used for after that, but it had a short lifespan as a bank. Still has the marble sign up there that just says bank. And I know on the inside, I saw online, I think it was the Emerald Bank, it was down like on the walkway where you walk in. It was actually the Exchange Bank, not the Emerald Bank. But yeah, pretty cool old bank building. I wish I see he actually made use of the front area, so it gave him more space. But I wish that it was still the way it was, and those arches were still there, and the openings were still there. At least the building is in use it's being used for something. As long as it's being used, it's not going to end up like these. Now this building down here in the tile work, Ross and Hall. Now I don't know what this was, but just think, probably 100 or so years ago, or around that time, someone laid that tile that said Ross and Hall, and it is still here today. Now that says a lot about the kind of workmanship that was put into that, and it looks like every tile is still in place. I don't see any missing, so that is really something. I mean, where would you see that kind of workmanship today, to be honest? And I like the old iron threshold here too. That's awesome. Now, I don't know what this building was. I'm sure it was some sort of store. There's a great big opening here in the front, and I'm pretty sure that's probably original or close to original. Now those windows are probably the original windows that were in this building. The old wooden frame. Yeah, I would say they probably are. They fit the opening perfectly. It doesn't look like they've been modified. I don't know what that is. I know what it looks like, but I don't want to say because I don't know for sure. Yeah, this old building. Problem with buildings like this is once they're no longer used, they have a tendency, most of them have the flat roof that has to be tarred and maintained. And once the building's not being used and not being maintained, the tar will dry and crack, and that's when water will start to seep in. And once water starts to seep in, the wood starts to rot, the ceiling will collapse, the floor will go, and then all you're left with is the outside, the brick walls. And the brick will stand here for a long time, but eventually, being exposed, it will crumble as well. Now these bricks were made, apparently they were made in Columbus, Georgia, because each one of them is stamped. Each one of those is stamped. I can't read it on that one, but I'm going to step down here for just a minute so I can see if I can see what it says. CEO O'Berry or GEO O'Berry, Columbus, Georgia. I assume that was the brick company that made those bricks. Here they are right here. Yeah, each one of them is stamped. Metal bars. I would imagine they are original to the building as well. Look here, Ross and Hall, 1912. So that gives us a date on this building, 1912. Had some high ceilings. You can see the roof joist up there where they were. I'm going to take a look around town. It does it for the old downtown area. This used to be, back in the turn of the century, was downtown for Oakfield, but its time has long passed. I'm going to drive around town a little bit, see what else I can find. That's going to just about do it for today's video. I want to thank you all for coming along, spending some time with me today, checking out Oakfield, Georgia, checking out the store and post office, the old bank building up there, the mystery building, and most of all, my favorite, the communal well. Until next time, I'm Red. Keep exploring, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks a lot.